Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah, Rabbi shrah li sadri, wa yassir li amri, wa hlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we'll be talking about interfaces. Interfaces and abstract classes, they are almost same, but with a small difference. For example, multiple inheritance is not possible with the classes. For example, in other words, I can say class can inherit only one class. So it is not possible that class can inherit more than one class at the same time. But this multiple inheritance is possible with an interface. Interface can inherit more than one interfaces. Similarly, class can inherit more than one interface at the same time. Another difference between interface and abstract class is that in abstract class, at least one method must not be implemented. It must be an abstract method. In interface, all methods must not be implemented. So this is the difference between interface and abstract class. Now, interface must have a keyword interface. Like we have an example here, so interface is there. Interface members are by default public. So interface members like void in lecture method is by default public. So you don't have to say public void in lecture. Interface cannot contain data fields. So no more variables within the interface. And if you just notice, I put I before the person. This is just to distinguish that this is not a class, this is an interface. If you don't use I, it's okay, but it's a good practice to use I before the interface name. So in this way, you will come to know that this is an interface. Now, if a class inherits an interface, it must provide the implementation. Otherwise, you'll get the error message. Now, for example, let's try this example on the computer. Now, so we can create a file a.cs and interface I person, and we have a method void in lecture. And we must close this one, so no implementation. So implementation must be in the class. So we have a student class that inherit iPerson interface. And this one is also, so when we inherit the interface, we must implement the method. So implementation is that I can write a system console, right, and say I am in a class. So this is the implementation of my interface method. So let's compile, and since there is no main method, so I will be making it compiling it like a library. So if you see, there is no problem. But if I remove this method and I try not to implement the method in this class, I'm just inheriting. Let's see what will happen at this time. You see, student does not implement interface members. So basically, the program is expecting me an implementation of the interface from me. So I can implement. So you must provide the implementation if you inherit interface. Another example, as we mentioned, so multiple interface inheritance is possible with an interface, and multiple interface inheritance is also possible with a class. Now you have the example here. So we have an interface A and B, and now you see here interface C is trying to implement A and B both. Similarly, here we have interface A and interface B, and now class there's a class D is implementing A and B at the same time. It is possible. So now, if you are using interface, you cannot create the variable, the object of an interface, but it is possible to create an instance variable. So let's try that. So for example, I have a class program, and in this one I have static void main, and I can create an object of an interface. For example, p is equal to new iperson. So let's try to compile this one and see if we get. And now since we have the main program, so I don't have to create the library. So let's compile it, and oh, we have an error somewhere. Oh, it should be like a small new. Okay, now if you see, cannot create an instance of the abstract class or an interface iPerson. So this is not possible, so we have to comment it. But at the same time, I can have a variable, instance variable, interface variable. So let's see if we can compile. So now it is okay. I got a warning that I have a variable, but it is never used. No problem. Now I can use this variable and I can create a new object for the student class. And similarly, I can execute the in-lecture method as well with the help of interface variable. So let's compile it and run it. And so I am in a class. So it is creating an object and it is holding at the same time. And then we are calling this method from the student class, and it is calling properly, and that's it. So that's it for today. Kafare Majlis. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.